Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, and this is still Call of Duty Mobile Garena Masters Season 4 Resurgence. We are halfway through for this day, and we've seen two series already. We're up to the next two series, and we're going to start off that second half with the Battle of we have a Battle of SR Nakagwe going against LF Ford, and then topping off later on will be West Point Mambalo Kings and the 4S Kings. But with this match, we know that there has been a good domination from the previous match between the teams of the Huntsman and Divinus. Do you think the same will go on this match of SR Nakagwe and LF Ford?
I think that this is probably the steadiest matchup that we might be seeing for this one. I mean, it's two Filipino teams that's been struggling to put their tier up. I mean, I think both of these teams are on tier two right now, just gauging off how consistent they have been as well. So, Esra Nicagwe and Alford, they've been struggling in terms of putting their names up in the board. And in terms of the Philippine competitive scene, they're really overshadowed by Blacklist, Smart Mega, and the WPM Low King. So I want to see who's going to be following along with the whole trail of those three teams that I mentioned. Is it going to be them? Is it going to be Ezra Nakagwe? Or is it going to be LF Oric?
Yeah, as we took a recap of what happened so far and what will be happening in the future, and I mentioned this already, the next match will be SR Nakagwe and LF Ford. Good point indeed. I mean, this is where we want to find out if there will be a team that will go into the trail. Put into example West Point Buffalo Kings. They jumped into the Arena Masters and they had like if perfect run, if not almost a perfect run from the group stages, and they really pop off against top teams. So we're looking for another team that can do the same. But let's head over to the team SR the Kagwe right now. Owen, Wander, Mac, Yaku, Joshua, and Chroma. I mean, familiar faces in this game, and looking forward to how they will play in the new brand.
Can't wait to see how they're going to play. And in terms of the lineups overall, I haven't really seen Mac um, quite a lot, and I don't think I've seen him at all actually. So I can't wait to see how he's gonna put himself up into this equation. We all know how the brute force of the big Daddy Mac can come in as well, and he's pretty dominant with the close quarter combat. But since he's not around, I guess for sure the composition will be pretty good itself. But moving along for LF Work, composition will consist of Static, Siu, Badman, Bench, and Epochs, and just like how the storyline has been panning out versus the Huntsman, we can clearly say the same thing here for Set Development Work. They've been really experimenting with their lineup so far, and in terms of their statistics, I don't exactly know how to feel about this one. Both ends not really the most promising at stake.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, LF Org went against Smart Omega and Almighty, the tenured teams who've been like in a long contention against each other in terms of that top spot. So it's not an easy task for LF Org to go against them, but that would be how they can react, and as well as what they learn from those matchups once they go against SR Nakagwe. And going into the SR Nakagwe team, though they took a point against the hard point against All Almighty from the previous match that they have, that's a good motivation for them as well. And also in terms of points, once they head against LF Ford. So it's 50-50, and I would agree with you, it is a sweaty match between these two teams. But let's head over to the head-to-head. Sia right now, looking at the numbers, has a huge, a little bit of lead in terms of average skill as well as assist and scores. But in terms of AD ratio, it's pretty much the same against Yaku from and SR Nakagi.
Definitely. I mean, even though grounds quite even up as well. And coming in, we're just going to be looking at the whole statistics here. I mean, I'm really quite scared overall. But both ends is on below Almighty and Smart Omega, but that's pretty much expected. I mean, we're talking about the two regional finalists as well, so it's just about them really battling for the bragging rights and who's going to be coming off as a top team for the bottom half of the bracket itself. But I don't want to neglect and put them out of the equation for the top in terms of the advantage to the playoffs, but it's pretty unlikely. Nonetheless, someone in this very matchup will come out of the series with a 3-0 win. Maybe till then they can come back and be put part of the story of the advance to the playoffs. But for now, that's just going to be it now. But moving along to the mapping modes, we're going to be talking about the map ban now, and that's going to be Raid and Ascenda. Moving along for the specialist, Annihilator and Purifier will be out of the chase.
Yeah, Hacienda right now has been banned by LF Work, and I think that is because SR Nakagwe took a win against Almighty, specifically for that map. So they will be moving in to stand off for Hardpoint, Slums for the Search and Destroy, and Firing Range and Control. And we've seen so much of great gameplay for the Hardpoint and Control maps that we have right now. For Slums, out of these two teams, we'd like to see more of what they can offer. Is it's between these two, the only instances that they jump into the slums is not a search and destroy. It's smart LF4 going against smart Omega on the control mode. So we like to see more what the team can bring out once the map has been shuffled in the different modes. But well, there we have it. The one thing that we are going to expect right now is a sweaty run between these two teams. They are in the run to go and try beat Smart Omega on that second place to this moment because unfortunately for Smart Omega, they got three losses in there. They were stuck with 3 points, and this might be a chance. Once one team got a 3-0, or specifically it is SR Nakagwe, if they get a 3-0, they will be overtaking Smart Omega team on that second place.
Definitely, and it's just all going to come down to this. I mean, SR Cragway, they have one game up in their sleeves, and that's going to be the hard point taken over away from Almighty. But fortunately for them, a lesser, much lesser force compared to Almighty is that they are going to be going up against LF4, which LF4 has been quite struggling to put themselves up in the scoreline of this Crusaders as well. So let's see if it's going to be able to translate to the whole competition now, as we do see them go head to head for this hard point number one and standoff. So far, Esther and Nakagwe, they start things off quite strongly, but looking like LF4 flying to respond back.
And they responded indeed, clearing off that P1, and they will be taking over on the scores. 34 seconds remaining, and it is still blue in here representing LF4. And there's a little bit of pressure being brought in by Nakagwe at this point, and the pressure will be paying off. 23 seconds remaining. This might be the end if, in case, both teams will be thinking that this will, they need to rotate onto the warehouse, and that is what they're doing right now. Yabu trying to control the pace, and there goes the Slay and Siam. Batman taking out Joshua into the process, and early rotations is still not being done by both teams. Good thing that Nakagwe was able to pull back a little bit more, a few seconds from that E1. But here comes one guy. That is Chroma right now, who's standing a little bit too early and setting the pace onto B2 for this match.
Roman's still on the roll, makes it a 5-killing streak for him. First the underkill drone might be able to get another one as well. He absolutely not. But there's going to be enough influence for them to actually put up a very convincing lead out away from LF4 as well. LF4 trying to wrap around from the backhand, full come in. They get the break inside a hill. And that's going to be now Astro Nakagwe pushed down Narnia here.
Yeah, they have been pushed down right now, and the 4-man defense onto this hill, making it difficult for SR Nakagwe to push through and go and break that hill. 16 seconds remaining, a few more to balance up the scores between these two teams. Early rotations being done by one player from LF Oregon, two player from Nakagwe. It's more of how it can be balanced on that anchor spot. And there goes one, and the takeover might be done by Nakagwe right now as it starts off in 5 seconds.
5 seconds to go. Hardpoint opens up, and it's going to be SR Nakagwe getting the opening break instead of Hill. Batman trying to break and take this one for their side. He's going to be on the trail. He gets the influence inside of Hill. But look at the pinch trying to ensue here from the side of SR Nakagwe. It's not going to matter for Batman, though. Still on the spree. Looks at the gravity vortex, starting up the rotation here from this mid lane, and also the hallway itself. That's really them really contesting this hill for dear life. He tries to slide in. He just walks into the crossfire. Joshua will shut him down. And Ezra Nakagwe, they are rightfully into the hill quite well defined.
Yeah, it was just surviving in there with a claw a little bit too high and not hitting him. He went in for the slide, and he has been taken down, giving Nakagwe the advantage to get into that 76 points, and has been let go right now. But here comes Chroma trying to take over and getting a few more of the scrap points as the rest of the team is going for the rotation. Early rotation once again being done by LF Org, and 1-2 split will not be able to push through. But there you have it. It is just here right now going in for that slay as a few seconds just being waited on for it to open up. You might have a chance to catch up for the points.
Right here, we're doing so. When we are well defined, boxes spawn for them. Front row entry here for a set of LF Org. For a set of SR Chicago will try to come in. They do take down one player. Favorite players right up front will try to make the break. Claw will come in. Owen shuts down two. ZB box under his name. Making some more overall from a set of SR Chicago. And that's a thought that it's going to be a very convincing lead in hill here for a set of LF Org. SR Chicago did take the hill right back. That's going to be the Swans now getting close down as well. And I don't see any way whatsoever can LF4 get the break instead of Hill. Just looking how well defined, how well composed. And looking at the talents here from SR Nikagwe is really just holding their ground here on this hard point number 4 in here.
Yeah, they're distancing themselves out of that warehouse shortcut onto the opening of the bakery. Just make sure they will not be caught off guard. Yaku still stays in here with a scrap point and unloving tactics right now. Even if you are a little bit too late in rotation, they understand they can push through and break the hill. Thus, they're not giving out full effort into the early rotations. Batman, on the other hand, has taken down two because of that ready, and LF Org is now standing once again early into this hill. It will depend if SR Kagwe will be pushing through and breaking in, but I don't think that will be happening right now. A good haul right now, but Owen for the backstab. This may be the double that can make them go for the break, but ZF takes him down, bench, and Static also for the slay. One goes through, but not enough for them to take over. It's getting really close into that scoreline, Warden, and we still don't know who will be taking away from this point.
Definitely, I mean, really undefined game it is. And LF4 they can get the entire to the scrap time. It's going to be them keeping things up in the SR Nikagwe. It's hard point number 1. Really excited for them. But they do lose the grasp of the scrap time, so we are still going to be seeing SR Nikagwe retain the lead out away from LF4. We move over to the rotation here for a set of LF4 though. It's much more of a brighter case for them. They do get the early rotation. 3 players inside the parameter. 1 player anchoring onwards Bakery and 1 player onwards Gasolines. They have every factor to hold on to the hill for dear life, and they absolutely do. And that's going to be them winning the first wave of engagements here on this hard point number 2.
Yeah, and 50 seconds have a good chance to overtake the scores that Nakadwe has already. Sia on the slay and stepping into the hill. Yako and Chroma on the side taking him down. But 1 and 5 is still moving in here, taking over this P2. And the preparation as well on P3 is being done. So I love the ideation. Only 28 seconds remaining, and it will be taken down by Nakagwe. Balancing will probably taking the lead once again, but LF4, they're doing their best not to make the lead that much, so it's easier for them to get that momentum later on once they have a better run.
In terms of better run right here, P2 really good investment from the side of Astro Nakagwe. This can be them enough to really retain a 20-point lead perhaps out away from LF4. But LF4, they get that early rotation to retreat. And we do see player 4 and player 1 really holding the ground from the back alleyway, while player 5 from the side of LF4 popping up from the squad as well as V-Box. And they're going to be able to ensue and really make this play work out at the first glance here for P number 3. And, just looking at the energy and looking at how well defined LF4 is, they might come out and get away with a money hill. Not until now, as we see a lot of efforts being shown out here from Metro Nikagwe. There's going to be softening the defense up, and Epoch inside a hill with a claw. We'll spray down, we'll take down 2. Hit him out a triple, yes, absolutely, yes. Chroma Wonder under his name, but Batman from the back. Cut them down. That's going to be a very back and forth kill we go, and so far, we do see that LF4 will win through the engagements.
Yeah, LF4 not only engagement but also control the spawns. Had a good run in there initially. It's only now that they lost that spawn because of the early rotation being done by the rest of the team. Unfortunately for them, Yaku has prepared ready in there to stop their approach, and well, Nakagwe just wants to beat them into the punch. They want to be there first, not giving out a few more seconds or precious seconds to the team of LF Org. It's getting very, very close between these two teams. Even Slay is close as well. And Static right now is the one stepping in. No lineup being set. And Bench right now with a claw might push the rest of Nakagwe out. And here comes Wonder, the boy Wonder, taking two down together with Roma. And this will be a different color for this story.
Call for them. That's going to be them once more, really taking the lead out away from LF4, the second time in a row for the speed number 4. And really, LF4 needs to improvise this hardpoint himself, and looking like they are absolutely doing this one right now. You know, 3 players inside the hill. They got to worry about boxes still. 3 players from the side of SR Chicago long to get the break inside the hill. Bench with a Hulk and can't do anything at all. Owen shuts him down, and Astro Nakagi to take the hill right back, getting the remaining scrap time here, 5 points, while in the process, LF4 trying to get the early rotation for P1.
Rotations indeed being done with only a few seconds for it to open up. When it comes to investment, it is the Kagwe who has a little bit more, and hopefully they can utilize that in here to secure the lead that they have. But it's very too close for comfort to dictate if they can be backing off in terms of their firepower. So they might be letting go of some of the operator skills as well as the score streak a little bit too early because of how close it is. It might be panic. It might not be part of the plan, but they need to make do at this point. Epoch, especially in here, going in for a double slay, securing this hill, will be taken down there by Wonder and Yaku also for the pro.
Mind all the fort, they're on the lead right now, but after the fact, the Lungs get this lead back to their side. Venture trying to make this opening break with a Hogger will come in. That's going to be him on a 2-3. Can he find some more? Absolutely, yes. He gets it well done. Yes, sir. 2-18 to 2-13 now. 5-point lead here for the set of LF Org. Looking like Esther Chicago might be able to get the remaining time here. Take the lead right back, and each and every point starts to matter now here. Because both ends now showed stellar gameplay, but only one can reign supreme on this hardpoint standoff. As we do see now, this hardpoint number 2 might get heavily contested at both ends. We do see LF Org slowly but surely taking the lead back to their side, as they only need 25 more points to seal the deal out away from SR Nagagwe.
And Bench right now is on his way to his 50th slay, and not only that, getting close to a few more points to take this win. And finally, the breakthrough from SR Nakagwe is in here, but there's still no stopping the teams of LF4. They want to take it. They want to win this. But for how long can they hold off? They have enough time to end this match in this hill. And 20 seconds will be more than enough. And there goes a hit. Sad or Batman taking a Wonder Bench as well, taking an Owen. And I think with Bench in here, only 2 to that 50, and also 1 for that time. There goes the win. LF Org seeing the light of the day, balancing the series wins or the game win between SR Nakagwe and this team.
That's for the first time that, LF Org is going to be able to put up a win. And this group status overall, I mean, really fortunate for them. And really good comeback as well. Almost for the entirety of the game, at least 70 to 30, that Astro Nakagwe was really taking over of the momentum right there. They were always on the driver's seat, but coming in, I always love to say this final adjustment, it really matters quite a lot. And that's exactly how LF4 played that one out, and especially the rotation from P1, it was well accumulated. And for a moment, Astro Nakagwe was able to get the break instead of Hill, but the retakes was so phenomenal from the set of LF4, hence giving them the victory. Though it was down to the wire, it could have went both ways. LF Org really starting off the heat quite strongly.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, even if how close it is, it's more of the points that they gather for each hill before the trade-off happens. That's where it really matters. And to the final moment, the 250 to 226, I would say, is not a complete dominance by LF Org. It's more of, as you mentioned, the adjustment, the final adjustment that they have to do, not let go of that hill, hold onto it with the remaining few seconds, and that's what made them win. Not only that, close to 50 in terms of slay coming from Bench. He is the MVP of this game. Batman also together with Epoch Super Soaker, 2 minutes for those hills. There's a combination that you really want from your team once you step into hardpoint.
Definitely. the championship of badminton in Epochs is not just found here. They've been together for quite a bit of time, and that's just really shows how well correlated and coordinated Elcorg is. Despite that, there has been a lot of shade as well for Elcorg, especially during this group stages. But it's just so unfortunate for them. I mean, they started off their first matchup for the group stages going up against Modern Mega, and they did fall to 3-0. Same goes for the side of Elcorg. I mean, for the side of Almighty. So quite expected here, but fortunately they did break that heat, and they are going to be able to take the. They are going to be winning the first game for the series overall. Now, may it translate to how it's going to pan out to Search and Destroy. Well, I don't exactly know if that's going to be the case. I think I'm going to be coming inside this match of 50-50 here now.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like 50-50, especially with the result that we have in Hardpoint. This is the sweatiness that we were expecting, that you keep mentioning earlier, off on break and even on the start of the broadcast, how sweaty the game would be. So it might go over to the side of SR Nakagwe at this point. It might go and being taken by LF or either way, we'd like to see a lot more of improvement from the scene and better engagement, great engagement from the scene. I would say it's already been great. Better will be what we want to see, especially once we go in on Search and Destroy. Slums is a map that I would say goes one side. So hopefully they have a cure, they have a solution that once it snowballs to one side. And either way, we have the defense being taken by LF Ford. So it's SR Nakagwe who can dictate the pace, a chance for them to get that initial point lead against LF Ford to bring it to a 1-1.
Definitely. So I think really we move over as we move over to Search and Destroy Slums. I think if I'm not mistaken here now, I mean the history line for Search and Destroy, Asher Nakagwe, aka Old V, aka Old Triple V, is pretty promising in terms of the whole composition here for Search and Destroy. So I think I'm leaning towards Asher Nakagwe here, but that could be me proving wrong as well. But it's a no surprise if ever SR Nakagwe can really start off quite dominantly for Search and Destroy. They exactly did that for Hardpoint. Yep. What they just got to do, honestly, is just fix up how they deal with the ladder stages of competition, especially finishing things up. So that's just about it. Now, for Search and Destroy, there's a lot of chances, though. And there's a lot of time, there's a lot of stall time for you to revise and try to put on a reset. So let's see if either of these teams can really use that and take that to their advantage. Because if not, then it might go chaotically, just like how it went up for Hardpoint.
Yeah, I mean, this is a reset indeed. It was chaotic and hard point, and there's a chance for the team to slow it down if they chooses to, because we've seen so much that in Search and Destroy, there's instances wherein the start of the game, it's so fast that the tactic, the sound tactic that has been used by some of the teams are being thrown off, but it doesn't pan out for long. So the back and forth of the scores or probably the difference of game style for each round will be seen from this team. And as we start off, this is Slums right now. We'd like to see who will be initiating the fight, also what angles teams will be taking to go in to for the surprise hit. And we are seeing the attackers as SR Nakagwe heading over to Alpha, and the bomb holder will be sticking in there with the rest of the Alpha team. There goes to Joshua for the approach. See, has been taken down. A quick plant might be pushing through. Joshua right now will go in for the rotate, and the Wonder taking down Ben.
Wonder taking down Ben with Epochs. We'll take down Chroma. Bomb planted. Epochs too long to get those kills up into a board. And in terms of the sniper being panned out here for the set of Epochs, he was supposed to be phenomenal right there, but only was able to take down one. The left alone here is going to be a 1v1 situation. Owen, Static, head-to-head, stand up as we must see, but positioning is just much more favorable for the set of Static. Only 15 seconds left, but he's going to go for a stick. I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows the angle is right there. He doesn't know. They faltered. Big miscommunication right there for the set of SR Nakagwe.
Yeah, I mean, it was a panic mode in terms of the plan and even the approach that has been taken in there. If he moved towards the other side, even if he has been pushed out of position, he can still take advantage of the position of the bomb to get that slay. But it is what it is. This time, it will be a chance for SR Nakagwe to get a point. because of the initiation has been done against Sia.
Really unfortunate situation right there. Let's just hope that they can improvise and fix that one up for this very round, as we do see now a different approach. And going down to the grab roll. And Sia already out of the equation, lowering down the numbers here. Probably going to be a hard call, especially if they're going to be allowing for a retake here from the front ends. Might have to go for a trade, but overall, on this B point, we do see Yak here putting himself up